Hey, what's going on, everyone? Supreme Kami here. So we're gonna quickly talk about these two new alterations for the Gundam Epyon and the Reborns Gundam over here. So these two aren't particularly like the best alteration possible, but they do have some pretty good parts here and there. So as for the EXQ, I'm not really gonna give any other recommendation per se because all EXQ doesn't do the same amount of damages, so it's not appropriate to say, oh, let's substitute this EXQ compared to this EXQ because you guys have know I did a testing of a certain EXQ and then what the kit are built in for may not be the same as a different one. Like for example, like the Barbados Lupus Rex backpack Kasi EXQ has the effect that raises melee attack up to 54%. If I think that's the highest multiplier, or not the multiplier, but the highest raising percentage in terms of like melee category. So if I were to compare that to something else that probably like 39 to 49%, that's not going to be the most fair cases. So with that being said, I'm not going to really recommend too many of it, but I'll say something similar, right? But let's start off with Epyon over here and see what we have here. So I should have the stat on the right hand side, and then I'm gonna try to give some recommendation as for like some portrait, because portrait are pretty much universal. They are kind of like they're pretty much the same. They're like offensive portrait. It's gonna be that 30 and 35%, so 65 in total. All right, so let's take a look at the stat to begin with. Yeah, the melee stat is not too bad, coming in at 4,240. Not too bad, right? That's, I would say, more on like an average side. Does come in at rank number 12 currently. So in terms of the portrait over here with tech attribute, EXQ power boosted by 30%, and then when buffed it, EXQ power boosted by another 35%. So this is over here a double EXQ buffing over here. So in theory, right, in all case scenario, you can put this on a melee and shot build as well. Because you do have high firepower, which you can bridge it onto a shot build, but you will not do that in this case scenario because look at that shot attack on a head part. That's where the shot attack will come out the most, and this one is only coming in 3,000. So no, this one is purely going to be for melee purposes. So when buffed it is like when you go into battle, whenever you see like those little blue icons be underneath your ammo bar, that is when you know you have buffs on, and that's when you know this effect is taken into place over here. So I should have some recommendation on the left hand side. So they may not be double EC buffing, but there are some good alternatives. You guys are looking for something for melee build over here. So this one is a pretty good set of portrait over here. As I would say, close combat is a must-have. For high firepower, not a lot of people do run it for melee build. Mainly people do run like pro attack, close combat, and mobile fire. So if you guys are someone who uses or high firepower, this may be a good choice for you. But all right, I think I think for once before even starting the review, I should talk about the banner to begin with. All right, I'm gonna do a quick sidetrack here. You know what? Not even talking about the banner. So if you are someone who have any part of the Epyon, you can just quickly go over to the event page and go over to the items down over here, and you can use this week material D to just exchange for a L badge over here, and you can just summon for it. So in theory, you can just do one summon this week, and then for any part you like on the Epyon or the Reborns Gundam, you can just do the same thing, and then you can just grab yourself the alteration tool. And then as for these two banner, I would say someone at your own discretion in a way. So if you guys like these two unit, obviously this is gonna be the best way to get these folks over here, or these two folks over here. So that's one thing right there. And then if we do talk about how the banner structure, I would say this is a level 1 tier banner setup over here, because not only are you getting alteration tools, you are also guaranteed a 1-6 star at the end of the day. So we take a look at the bonuses. 16%, 16, 71, yep, 71%. And then the final spot is going to be a guaranteed 6 star over here with any of these part enhanced over here. So as for the freebie over here, you do get one exclusive part exchange tickets over here. You also do get 5 material Alteration tools, and then you get the airbrush over here. But what's interesting about this banner in specific correlates to the exchange, and then this guy's specific one, right? It's this over here. So if you have 5 material or no 5 L badges for either the Epyon or the Reborns Gundam, you can actually exchange for this little guy over here, the Gunpla build coins over here, and which you can exchange. You can exchange for the trade nippers over here, trade upgrade pincer, or a EX skill upgrade knife over here. Which that's why I say these banner setup is the most valued in a way, because you get a lot. You get a lot out of this one over here. So that's that, right? So those are 2 items you guys should be focusing on. If you guys don't have liking for either of these 2, I think it's a pretty good skip overall. I think it's pretty much best to kind of wait out until anniversaries to see if they have anything good going on. Okay, so that's a little sidetrack over there. So, all right, let's begin. All right, let's go back to this over here. So, I did not actually look in too much about read about the Epyon, but for some reason Epyon has really high shot defense. So I don't know why. Is it because of the armor kind of has some better shot defense, like better defense against any shot or something like that? I don't know why. Like that's pretty strange for a kind of melee unit over here. But do let me know if you guys have any info of Epyon of why. I'm probably gonna read about that, read about Epyon afterward, just to see if I can find anything else. But in terms of the chest over here, not too bad, you can say. But most chests nowadays does push into more or less towards that 5,000 category or range. Excuse me, 5,000 range. So this one is coming in. I would say on the upper 4K. It's not too bad, but this one does have an EX skill over here. So what you're gonna have to do is either you're gonna go into the permanent alteration to pick a part, any of these over here, to see if there's anything that's suitable. I'm pretty sure the XTH has maybe something. No, not the XTH has. Never mind. I'd probably say Barbados, maybe. Maybe Barbados. No. Is there not a good chest to subslot this into? Maybe the Force Impulse. Let's see. Close combat. Yep. Yep. This one may be good. That's one choice, right? Or you can find a pretty good part traded part and slap this into it. That will probably may not get you the full percentage, the sub slap boost that you might have for the 1/100 scale. But I highly value the part trade over pure stat, so that's that over there. But let's take a look at the EX skill over here. So this is the wing system over here, the zero system. I always say wing system for some reason. I don't know why. So activate the zero system to predict battle condition over here. So raise your speed by 20%, raise your melee by 39%, and also raise your shot by 19%. So this is not a bad buffs over here. Actually, that's both both categories. So you become easier to target for a short period of time. So this acts as a combination of many things over here. So this one acts as a heat up from the Mark II, which I think a lot of people actually do use, in for example, those daily crew missions where if you are that one unit that you don't mind taking hits, or you let the other 2 ally for example do all the work. I think this one is actually pretty good. You also, because you also can do a little bit more damage yourself, you also get speed raises as well, so that's always nice over here. So not too bad actually. If you guys do like the zero system, we have gone through a lot of units that actually have the zero system already, but this one is barely centered already. I'm not sure if the other one for the actual wing Gundam is the shot version of the zero system. But if that's the case, this one can be a good alteration, if that's what you want. Alright, so moving on to the arm over here. The arm does actually have pretty high stat over here, actually coming in at 11k over here. But what they like to do with high stack stat arms is they like to join an EXQ over here. So in terms of the portrait, again, close combat at high firepower, which is not too bad, pretty good actually. So this one is going to be the Epyon claw over here. It's going to do A minus pierce and B plus power over here. So this one actually gives me a good resemblance of the Barbados Lupus arm. This is it the Screw Fang? Actually does around the same thing, but the Barbados actually has a higher melee attack buffs over here, but this one also gives defenses, which you got. Defense is probably not the most important things, right? But those two are pretty similar in a way. In terms of like the piercing modifier and then a power modifier as well. But in terms of damages, I think I do have the Epyon R right. Epyon Claw. Oh, yeah, I do actually have it. I never actually tested it out. I'm pretty sure it should do decently damage, probably. But is that something you want to alterate? So if this is something you want to say, for example, your main parts, you're gonna have to go over to the permanent alteration as well. And then I'm pretty sure you can look over at Barbados, XC, and L Strike. I think they do have pretty good parts as a sub side as well. I'm pretty sure Force Simple, no, actually. This one I think has close combat, right? Yeah, this one has close combat. This one can be a good option as well, but I'm gonna do a solo review for this one over here actually, just to see what we're doing over here. But in terms of the RB, purely want as one as a static you can, but highly not recommended. I think there are better arms that has portrait, excuse me. Alright, moving on to the leg over here, see what we're gonna be doing. In terms of the stat, not looking too bad actually. But like, yeah, I don't know why they stacked this guy with like huge defense over here. I don't know for whatever reason. So this one is gonna be the max output beam saber over here. This one actually does another melee raise up at 24%. I believe this one actually does a lot of damage. Yeah, that one meme does a lot of damage. Yeah. I never actually tested it myself, but I have experienced it like when I play arena match, not arena match, like 1v1 friend battle. This one does a lot of damage. Yeah, this one coming, yeah, max out A plus power. Yeah, even like it's not an A minus, it's straight A power. So this one is good. So you want to alterate for like a really powerful E skill. I think this one might be it in terms of melee over here. So alright, so they're gonna change up the tag wise a little bit over here. So close combat and transformer. Yeah, not surprising they will put transformer into this guy over here. So transformer does actually work in a melee build, because we had a H2 Magnum, which coincidentally does have transformer. So if you guys have that unit, any parts, I think you can pretty much do a good combo in between those two. So that's one way to work things out, I would say. Not too bad actually, not too bad. But this one I'm probably leaning towards using as a skin for that EX skill. As for like a main stat sticking, probably not the best case scenario because you're gonna have to do a lot of sub slotting again, just to see if you can get like the best portrait possible. But alright, now moving on to the backpack over here. A few backpacks actually have a portrait, and this one does, so not too bad. This one's gonna be close combat and transformer over here, and for jelly. In terms of the portrait, okay, so it's a one melee power up and one EX skill power up over here. So as a first portrait, you are gonna be locked towards that transform portrait or tag over here. If transformer is not something you personally run and cannot really make into it, I'm pretty sure you can just skip out on the backpack, because why spend resource on something you can't really use, right? Because transformer is not the most like meta relevant tag you can be using, but I mean some people actually do use it, but not too common, right? As for the second portrait, it's a little bit too restrictive just to the leg part, so I would say not a good choice at all, because there are a lot more better portrait out there that is not type part specific. So this one is probably not a good to go, to be honest, because these hookup part we are trying to see, like we're really trying to be a little bit judgmental, because they are quite expensive, right? Alright, so moving on to the sword over here, the Epyon's the beam sword over here. In terms of the sword, I am comparing it directly to its own category, the sword category. So in terms of the sword category, it's not looking too bad. 11k over, not too bad actually. In terms of the melee portrait, just a portrait over here, that's actually pretty good. So right at the bat, if for say you enter like a match, you're not gonna get the EXP power boosted until you use any buffs, like anything that gives you like that blue icon below. In that manner, you will be able to you will receive the EXP power boost by 30%, and then the second portrait is going to be a little bit specific towards having a high firepower, which I know a lot of people don't actually use it, so that may not, this one may not be the best like a melee weapon to be using. I think there are a lot more generalized beam saber, like a melee weapon that is easier to use than this one over here. So with that being said, probably not the best weapon set to be choosing over here. Does have pretty decent tags over here. Close close combat is a good one to have, and then this high firepower is okay. High power is just okay for melee builds over here. So alright, and then we have a whip over here. So let's see what the whip do. The whip does have the same attack stat as well. So this one is more the utility wise is a little bit different. Not too different, right? But when you have two enemy shot down, melee damage output boosted by 35%, which is a little bit lowballing it, so not good. So this one is probably just skip out for Alteration as well. Because the portrait is going back to the transformer, may not be the best case scenario, so we can just skip the heat rod over here. So, alright, in terms of the, what do we have over here? We got the shield over here, so let's see what the shield actually does. Like the same trend again. Look at that 7k defense, shot defense. Like, why? Someone please let me know why this guy has so many, such a high defense over here. I do not get it. Alright, so in terms of the shield EXQ, okay, another EXQ buffing over here, so not bad at all, because a lot of this guy kit actually needs to be buffed in order to be used, so that's why they throw in a lot of these effect buffs over here. So it's going to execute a combo with the heat right attached to the shield over here, so raise 19% melee attack and 19% melee defense over here. Not too bad. This one at max is going to be A minus power, so I don't think it's, nope, it's not going to change the route. So I think pre-alteration should does about the same. Just jumping just slightly at your greater level is not going to make the most difference over here. So if you do want to alterate it just for like any better damage output, yeah, you could probably do that. Or maybe you just want to use it as a stat stick over here. That's no problem as well. So that's pretty much it for the Epyon over here. I would say not too many parts that I would actually recommend, because the portrait is not the most spectacular in a way. In terms of the stat, it's okay, right? It's more on the average border. Not anything too groundbreaking. Whereas like, alright, you gotta alterate this one, but if you are a big fan of Epyon, I'm pretty sure, yeah, go ahead, like alterate any part you would like. That's the whole gist of it, right? There's no forcing like, oh, don't alterate this one, alterate that. It's more of like go with your flow, and more of like, I mean, not go with your flow, but kind of do take a look to see, alright, is this one worth my alteration tool, because alteration tool are very limited. So please be careful when alteration part. Just take a quick review just to see before you want to alter it or not. But we will be going over to the Reborns Gundam and see how that one looks like as well. Alright, so we're going to talk about the Reborns Gundam and see what this guy packs with us over here. So we just quickly take a look at the stat over here. Not looking too bad actually. Even with the alteration, I wouldn't say it's the most top tier, because over the course of like the last 2 weeks, we have released up so many abundance of good shot units. I would say I feel like alteration for the Reborns Gundam right now at this point in time is probably not the best timing, but it's whatever, right? They gotta give us these previous unit that is alteration, right? So I'm gonna quickly look at the heart of a shot build unit over here, the head. Let's see what the head is giving us over here. In terms of the raw stat over here, not looking too bad, 10,864. So you are within the top 10. You would say within like the upper echelon of like a shot build. But the most important part, the portrait. What do we have here? Okay, so in terms of the portrait over here, with power attribute, boost funnel uptime by 50%. All right, good to go right here. Good to go, right? In terms of the second portrait, back part EXP boosted by 35%. So in any shop build you guys have probably seen, I have reviewed, I don't actually like it when they are being a little bit too specific to that one specific part. So this one I would just automatically give it a no. And then the first portrait is a boost uptime funnel by 50%. I mean, funnel is good when it's melee funnel. Like we actually do have one melee funnel over here. It's gonna be this guy over here. This one is actually pretty good. GN small fang, fin fang over here actually does good works over here. But in terms of like shot funnel, I don't think they don't equate as much for whatever reason, right? It has been kind of tested numerous times by players throughout in terms of like using melee funnel, like the Moon Gundam or like the Phoenix. But do let me know if you guys have found any different result, like when you guys are using shot-based funnels or like melee funnels over here. So, I would say like uptime for funnel is not the most effective thing to be using. I mean, having a having a little bit longer time can grant you a few more hits. Maybe we can do a little bit more damage, but the damage is kind of scared to route. So it's not something. It's not like a one blow kind of EX scoop. Like this is probably for like a 10 to like a 5 to 10 second span of EX usage over here, and then plus you're gonna add another 50% max. So yeah, it will take you a little bit longer to beat or to take down your opponent, but I guess in terms of like damage output, it should be good. But I wouldn't hold my hopes up for these portrait over here. So I would say for the head, just probably skip it. There's no room to be using the first portrait at this point in time right now. So, but for a competitive part over here, it's probably gonna be the chest over here. In terms of the set, we are looking at 5K and above, so that is good. Coming at rank number 7 currently. So this one, what do we have over here? So this one does act 2 restriction over here. 2 bad one actually. Not bad, but like the first one I would say is pretty bad. So first portrait with long shooter job over here, shooting power boosted by 30%. So over the course, like I said, we have seen good chest chest actually. Like last week we had the unicorn perfect ability, and then we have the high new Gundam version. Actually, those two does have pretty good portrait in terms of the chest. And then the prior week we had the Gundam, which actually does give us a pretty good chest as well. Not to mention the Penelope as well. So we have a lot of competition over here. I would say this one compared to those is a little bit more. I would say a little bit picky because this wants you to use long shooter job. May not, a lot of people may not have the option to run that, and then you're allowed to using only B mix over here, which may or may not be the best case scenario depending on what you really have, right? So, if you guys have any of those swallowing chests over here, I will highly suggest not to alterate the Reborns Gundam over here, just because of like I would say little tidbits of a restriction over here. But if you can level up with these kind of portrait like effects over condition over here, yeah, this is probably a good chest to alterate. Just because it is pretty good. Coming at 5K plus is a rare occasion over here. So. Alright, moving on to the arm over here is a Awakening skill Transam. Ooh, alright, Transam. This twin drive is a man-made twin drive, so it's not gonna give you the best output, but no, they don't actually. There's no discrepancy between the pseudo drive and the real GN drive. So, what's this? The GN drive gives us over here. So it's gonna raise speed by 20%. Also gonna raise a melee 19 and then shot by 39. So not too bad over here, actually. Not too bad, but if they would have given us a little extra 4 effects over here, it will make it better. But do you want to alterate it? In terms of the stat, it's not gonna be anything impressive. So it's mainly gonna be like if you want to alterate it to have the funsies of the Transam over here. If that's the case, yeah, go for it. It should be pretty good overall. Like just having Transam in 0 is good. But is this something you want to put as a? I mean, overall, it's actually pretty good, like 39% at max. But most case scenario, a lot of people just have it at that 30%. I mean, if you want to go for like a Transam, yeah, be my guest. Like I wouldn't like for these skill purposes. Like there isn't like a right or wrong answer of alternating or not. It's just more like based on your needs. If you really want that shot attack up by 30%, for example, right? So that is purely based on your choice and your option available in a way. All right, moving on to the leg over here. Reborns Gundam actually does have a lot of funnels. Like the back skirt have some funnels, the shoe has some funnels, and then the backpack has some big funnels over here. So yeah, this guy packs a lot of firepower. Have I been going over the tag? Oh man, I don't think I have. Yikes. So Gundam type and high firepower, which is they are in competition in a way. So best case scenario for like a shop build is for me personally, I run high firepower, commander, and then ace exclusive. So Gundam type is actually in competition in between these two over here. So it is pretty much best to pick either or in a way. Wow. Close combat? Are you kidding me? I mean, close combat, yes, because the Reborns Gundam does actually have a melee weapon on the Transformer version, the Reborns cannon, the Ignier whip over here. But obviously we don't get the Transformer version of it. So I mean, I guess it's kind of accurate to have it actually. What does the arm have over here? Okay, yeah, I guess it fits the theme, right? But okay, you would have put this on a melee, to be honest. What about the leg? The leg is okay. The leg we can work it with over here. But what does the Reborn Slick has for us over here? In terms of the stat, barely touching that mid 4K. It's not the best, and plus this one does come with EX skills. So I say this one is not the best scenario for Alteration unless, right? Unless you really like the EX skill over here. So this one is a beam melee, beam melee. What? That makes no sense. This one is a beam funnel over here, so that's good, right? You have two different sets. This one is another GN small funnel fin fangs over here. So alright, I actually does have it. Do have the full set. So in terms of damage, I will actually test it out just to see how it is actually. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do the best damage overall, but that's pre-alteration. I'm pretty sure post-alteration it should give us a pretty sizable damage overall because it's jumping from D power to B plus power. So yeah, there's a huge difference over here. So all right, moving on to the backpack cutscene EX skill over here. In terms of the stat, you are looking fairly decent, right? Almost closing into the 5K over here. Like our best backpack in terms of shot attack is looking around 6K-ish. So this one is not looking too far behind. So it's actually still pretty good. In terms of the tag over here, you have Transformer and why? Transformer and Gundam type. Oh man, why? Okay. Not the best combo over here. So Gundam type may be the saving grace over here. But wait, actually, this chest is good for you. So this chest is the backpack actually is good for this specific reason. Reason being, if we take a quick look at this backpack over here, ta-da! If we take a look at the Zeta Gundam backpack over here, Transformer and Gundam type, if for whatever reason you can free up two, no, you don't ever have to free up two. If you're someone who runs Gundam type over high firepower, I think the backpack may be a good option because you can get every tag possible for if you're gonna sub slot a Zeta Gundam backpack over here. So this actually works out. But I wouldn't say. But also in this scenario, you get a 20.5% sub slot bonuses. So depending on what your build looks like, this one can be a pretty good beneficial to you. But that is depends, right? That is depends if you have a pre vortex slot, then you can do this kind of thing over here. So it's actually pretty. Oh wait. Did it take a look at the effects? Man, never mind. Okay, let me see. Reborn's cannon mode over here. So what do we do? Perform a combo with GN fin fangs and blow enemy away with your GN cannon. Raise speed by 20%, squad recovery by 48%, and next squad up 39%. So this one is good. Yeah, this one gives you a little bit of everything. So give you speed, health, and then attack buff. So this one is good. If you want this kind of EXP, yeah, I think this one is actually good just because it packs you at 30 effects over here, which I'll take. Gladly take a 30 effect over here, so not too bad. If you do want to alterate it, it really depends on like whether you need it for like as for your main build for the stat purposes, or you purely want it for to running your skin as the EX skill. So that really all depends, right? Moving on to G and Beam Saber over here. Gosh, I personally would not alterate a Beam Saber coming up with my shot unit unless they kind of give you like some kind of like shot attack or even shot defense. This one does not even give you anything at all, so this one is probably bad. In terms of the portrait over here, so this one is it's the first portrait. Once you use your E skill within the first 15 or first 15 timer count, which is not good at all because in longer type of event, you're not gonna get the whole benefit of it. And if your EX like your custom EX does not have enough charging boost, you probably may not even use it within the first 50 seconds. So I would say like 90% of the time, like the first portrait is kind of useless already. So probably not a good bet in that scenario, right? Probably not too good because in terms of tag, close combat, and Gundam type, so you can't forget about the beam saber in this guy over here. It's not gonna give you anything in any benefit over here. So, all right, moving on to the beam rifle over here. The beam rifle actually rivals to the Kasai Gundam beam rifle. Actually comes in at 12,251. Not bad. Hooray to rank #1 beam rifle over here. All right. In terms of the portrait, that is a different story over here in terms of what it does over here. So this is not your traditional offensive powerhouse over here. This is more on like a defensive type, not defensive type, but for a different utility. So when buffed it, your ESQ, your cooldown reduced by 50% at once. So this pertains you want to kind of use your ESQ already, like any ESQ that kind of buffs like. Let's say your custody ace gives you a buff. So on activation, that's really depends on when you get the buff. Like whenever you receive the buff and then your EX skill, we get that 50% reduce right out the bat. So this can be good utility wise if that's something you really want, but overall probably not something to really focus on because for shot, like for the shot build, as for like the weaponry, you kind of want double offensive power boosting, but it really depends on the player over here. All right, moving on to the last weapon over here, the shield. The shield actually before alteration has one of the higher shot stat already, but right after the alteration, that does not show. It's coming in at rank #3, slightly overtaken by last week's Sokai. What is it? The high new Gundam version cut actually comes in 300 more. 300 more in terms of shot attack. So this one does pack a EX skill over here. Another small fin funnel we have just looked at just a while ago. So this one is the melee version of it. So keep in mind that funnels does not activate together. So if you for say activate this one and then use the other one immediately, it will cancel out the first one already. So don't use it unless this one runs out whatsoever. In terms of the portrait, it's not looking the most optimal Gundam type and transformer, but you do have Gundam type, which you can kind of subslot something to just get rid of that transformer, or unless you are someone that runs transformer in your shop build, be my guest, but probably not gonna be the best case scenario in most cases. So that's pretty much it for the Reborns Gundam. I wouldn't say there are a lot of good parts to pretty much alternate. I would say the chest is something to consider about, but other than that, I think the other one are not. Like the head is too mediocre. Like the beam saber or the beam sword is not too good. The beam rifle serves of like a more different utility than traditional offensive powerhouse. As for the EX skill wise, it's something I would leave the decision up to you guys because those are something that you use personally. Because I like to use EX skill that you guys might not like to use, so right. So that being said, that is pretty much it for these two units over here. Do let me know if you guys are planning to summon for these two units over here, either the Reborns Gundam or the Epyon Gundam over here. But do wait until Thursday. I'm pretty sure they will be dropping something new again. Either not being new, they will probably most likely drop a new banner. So with that being said, I will catch you guys all on the next one.